Chemyach ikishyat imshrieravesh nayavesh ik. Chemyach ikataichukinach I un upravesh nayavesh ik. Nanivasi Buddha Vaikanayach. That was a prayer for the spring salmon, traditionally recited by the Karuk tribe on the land most people now call California. It means, hurry and flash upstream, spring salmon. You must hurry. Hurry and sprout up young plants. You must hurry. My back is straight. The coming of spring would be marked by the first salmon ceremony, where the first salmon of the year would be caught, eaten, and the bones would be cremated, and the smoke would rise to the heavens, and the spirit people, the Ikhareyavs, would come down and lead the people in dances and songs and the ceremonies to fix the earth. Ayuki, Nathan Woodworth, na Karuk wa adar. Hi, my name is Nathan Woodworth, and I'm a Karuk person, a descendant of the Karuk tribe. I'm currently studying classical acting at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art on a Fulbright scholarship, and I'm also involved in cultural revitalization, learning the Karuk language and discovering our traditional practices and stories, including the ways we relate to plants and the wider ecosystem of which we are a part. I'm here at the American Museum near Bath, where they have gardens that draw off American history, and they also have some Karuk artifacts that we're going to be taking a look at. Being an acting student and being in these gardens during spring makes me reflect on how our traditional ceremonies are a lot like theater, performances that help us understand how closely we are connected to the natural environment. When the new plants emerge after the winter and feel renewed and energized, so do we. This is rosemary. This is a type of herb that a Karuk brush dance doctor might have collected in the spring. And what they would do is they would sing or speak a creation story over it so that it would become medicine. Our most common medicine is angelica root, Angelica californica, which grows up to 6 feet tall and grows under the shades of oak and comes into bloom in the spring, and it also cohabitates with ferns, hound's tongue, yerba buena, and woodland strawberries.
Hey, yeah, yo, hey, yeah, yo, hey, yeah, yo,
The brush dance is performed every spring and is used to cure a sick child. I guess children are often ill coming out of the winter months, and symbolically, children and youth are linked to the spring.
Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, way, ha, now, hey. What a new way has gone away.
The spring ceremonies also include the flower dance, which is conducted by a medicine woman and marks a girl becoming a woman. Human fertility is like the fertility of plants, and like these herbs, the brush dance and the flower dance should be understood as living spirit beings, not just songs that are sung. The brush dance is called Hapish. The flower dance is called Ihuk.
So this is one piece that we have in our collection that came into the museum collection in 1973, and we don't actually know very much about it. According to my records, it's described as a mat, and I was just wondering if you could tell me a bit more about it and maybe about some of these motifs, which are really interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. It's beautiful. And it's actually not a mat.
Oh.
It's used on the wall as decoration.
That would explain why it's not quite so flat on the back. Then it has that kind of more ridge shape on here.
Yeah. And this is called a crowfoot design. And to get the different colors, you would use different elements and different roots and such. So like they'd use woodwarden for the red,
Right.
and then like porcupine quills would get you yellow. This was actually made on the Klamath River in
Right.
Káruk country by two sisters.
Oh.
Yeah, just based on the design and the colors. Red, white, and black was their signature, along with these designs. So the triangles here would be called tatak, and that meant points.
Right.
And then these designs would be called nutehanich, and they're defined by being parallel lines that are staggered like this. And then there's this beautiful star shape on the top
lovely.
there. That's absolutely gorgeous. And this would be a ceremonial hat. So this would be like something you'd break out in the spring, maybe, to welcome in the spring at the first salmon ceremony, or a brush dance, or a flower dance.
So we've got examples of trade beads within the collection, but what I love about this one is it looks like it's not all glass beads, which a lot of our trade beads are.
Interesting.
And again, this one has been identified as being from the West Coast. I think it just, in our collection, it says California. So
Yeah.
be interested to know some more if you can identify any of the materials in here.
It is Karuk. What they used for the string actually was iris.
Okay, plant.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
plant. Yeah.
Sure.
And they would take like 3 strands and tie it really, really tight. And this is a pretty unique piece, I think, because we made these closer to the 20th century, like in the 1800s. Not totally sure.
Right.
But what we would do is we would use them primarily for trade. While these necklaces served the purpose of trade, these necklaces, which were made from dentalia shells found in the Salmon River, served as our currency. I don't mean currency in the colonialist sense, but currency to be used on our sacred regalia. The more dentalia you had, the richer you were as a person, and the closer you were to finding your purpose in life. It also meant that you'd been doing a lot to fix the earth. Every ceremony we had was about fixing the earth and would culminate in the World Renewal ceremony, which was held every September. And with global warming and the damage being done to our environment, the pandemic, wars, we need to do a lot to fix the earth. And for our people, it starts every spring. In recent years, Káruk lands have been hit with greater frequency and ferocity by forest fires. During 2021, almost 9,000 fires were recorded across California, burning 2.5 million acres. One reason for these fires is climate change. The land is dry because of low rainfall, and the temperatures are at record high levels. But another reason is that our traditional practices of land management have been outlawed or stopped. The plants that we collected in the spring were from areas that we deliberately burned a few years before. Part of Karuk care for nature in the forest was through thinning it out and burning it in a controlled way. And by burning it in a controlled way, we were able to protect the forest from being scorched. And we actually were able to promote new growth for plants, which provided food for us and for the animals. It also created new pathways for deer and bear to walk through. And most importantly, it prevented the massive blazes that we see today consuming our forests. It suited the agenda of colonialism to think of our land as an unspoiled wilderness, untouched by human beings. It suits the modern agenda of colonial conservation to talk about rewilding, leaving humans out of the way we view nature. But this is a dangerous misunderstanding. Humans are a part of nature, whose engagement with land, water, plants, and food is as valid as any other animals. Colonial cultures think of nature as something wild that needs to be tamed, in much the same way that they thought of native people as savages. The environmental catastrophe that has resulted from colonization is a sad testament to just how wrong they were. Indigenous people work with Mother Nature, not against. Thankfully, today, we're seeing a resurgence of our ways, especially among young people who deeply care about their Indigenous identities and the future of the planet. And for me, it's so exciting to learn more about my Káruk heritage and to be a part of the Botany Bay project, which teaches young people here in England how to renew the planet and learn from Indigenous ways. It's a new kind of spring.
And what is it? Is it a tomato? Is it a chili? Or is it a pumpkin?
No, it's
A pumpkin.
pumpkin.
What have you got?
A blue Hubbard signs blue.
A blue Hubbard, a vegetable that is blue. Wow, shall we try growing them? Okay.
Eat them, are they edible?
No, not now. These are different. These are from America.
Oh, they're not edible then.
Okay, so how deep do you think? Take one.
Do you know why they're like that? So what we do is we leave them in the daylight, and they make little shoots, and those shoots are going to grow up into the big plant. So
That's like the stems.
yeah, and that will make all the energy.
What a new we have to run away. What a new we have to run away. Tayeta mi hukume. What a new we have to run away. What a new we have to run away. What a new we have to run away. Taita mi hukume. What a new we have to run away. What a new we have to run away.
We put some seed
What a new we have to run away.
into the earth so the flower can grow.
And
And the children, they didn't come by accident to this life. They actually wanted to support the life on the earth. That's how the children became our flowers. Just like the other flowers we see. The most beautiful flowers with their beautiful shiny and colors and different sizes. But their purpose is to be there and showing that we are here to take care of the earth.
What a new we have to run away. What a new we have to run away. Tayeta mi hukume. Hey, yeah,
ha na he na hey yo hey yo hey hey yo hey ha now hey yo yo ha na hey yo hey hey yo ha na hey na hey yo hey yo ha na hey yo